saw the spirits of both grandparents as a small child, which sparked her interest in metaphysics. Spirit brought her to Harmony Grove in 1983 for readings and spiritual growth, and Doreen Virtue granted her certification as an angel intuitive in 2014. She received her certificates in spiritual healing in 2015 and mediumship in 2016. Reverend Claudia was ordained as a Harmony Grove Spiritualist Association minister in December 2019. She enjoys serving as a healer, chair, medium, and minister for church services. In 2021, she earned her Reiki Master Practitioner certificate, and since 2018, she's presented nature-based healing ceremonies at the Grove using the Celtic Wheel of Life. As a professional theater artist, she worked for California Arts Council as a teaching artist and in public school system. She receives and she believes the worlds of spirit, the arts, and nature are intrinsically linked. She enjoys living in the Escondido countryside amongst the sights and sounds of nature. Let's welcome warmly, please, Reverend Claudia.
Thank you, Reverend Deborah. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's wonderful to be back here again. I have to tell you that the energy of this church is always so wonderful and so special. And I had the privilege this morning to attend the healing service instead of serving or being on this side, but actually to see it. And it was just so beautiful. The healing that was done was so lovely, and it was just a pleasure, just an extreme pleasure. So thank you for that. All right. Well, do any of you have any Irish or Welsh or Scottish or English ancestry? Well, we're going to be talking about that for today. All right. Now, unfortunately, after last week's violence, I am so thankful that the hope and promise of spring is in the air. For me, February 1st and 2nd, and also January 31st are holy days. The Celtic Fire Festival of Imbolc is dedicated to fertility goddess Bridget. Regarding the feast day of Saint Bridget, Scottish tradition says that Bridget's serpent emerges from under the earth on February 1st to test the weather. And if it remains above the ground, cold weather will end. If the serpent slithers back under, the more cold weather is in store, just like our groundhog. So today is the halfway point in the year between the winter solstice and the spring equinox on the Celtic Wheel of Life. Imbolc is under the protection of fertility goddess Breed, also known as the Bright Arrow. She is the daughter of the Dagda of the Celtic high god. This fire festival symbolizes hope and the possibility as winter gives way to spring. Now, she is a triple goddess, embracing both maiden, mother, and crone. She is known as the first light of dawn and the hope of spring. Now, she is really a force of nature. So, to the tradition, her heart melts the hard frozen snow on the ground, revealing sparks of life underneath. Then the light grows stronger every day, and the days are growing longer with the waxing of the sun. So now it's time to get moving again after the winter's rest. At this time, ritual torchlit processions are being held to purify and invigorate the earth. You can imagine that. So these groups of people in the olden days, of course, would walk together with the hope and prayers that the earth would be invigorated, and of course for the hope of the crops that would be coming soon. So seedlings are now beginning to emerge from the earth. Soil is being prepared for the first planting, and tools are being repaired and blessed. It is time now to open up the front door and let go of any stale air that's kept up inside. Sweep the porch, clean the house, and put new energy into your life. Purification by sunlight, air, and water renews your body, mind, and spirit. This is a time of new beginning and new ideas. Imbolc literally means in the belly and marks the beginning of the lambing season. So think about, what do you want to give birth to right now? What is your heart telling you that you need to do? What is your purpose at this time? What do you want to manifest? Hopes and dreams. On Imbolc, people made pilgrimages to the holy well of Brid, goddess of healing, unity, inspiration, and prophecy. These ancient wells were considered to be healing and purifying because the waters miraculously sprang from the womb of the earth when she walked upon them. They're just a really, really beautiful place. So from ancient times to today, people would dip a rag into the well, wash their wounds, and set their intent for healing. And then they would let the rag dry and retreat. Now, the illness would disappear as the rag rotted away, exposed to the elements, very much like the Tibetan prayer flags do. So it was traditional on the 31st of January, in honor of Brid, to pray for the bountiful crops. As the guardian of home and hearth, she was invoked to protect the herds and the harvest. She is the keeper of the flame. Her cauldron of inspiration inspires the arts, particularly poetry and smithcraft. Now, smithcraft is the alchemical art of transforming raw materials into tools, jewelry, and weapons on a forge. Her power was infused into these creations. As the goddess of fertility, she was a primordial midwife. Rites welcoming new plants and animals were held in her honor. Candles and fire were essential elements of these rites, symbolizing the spark of new life. These were flames of purification, flames increasing unity, fertility, creativity, healing, and prophecy. Brid's other symbols are the cow, the spinning wheel, and a shining scrying mirror, which she uses to see into the other world. On Imbolc Eve, people also invoked her presence to bestow blessings on their home. They would make gifts for her. They would leave food, drink, cloth, for her to bless with her healing and protective flowers. Brid's crosses were also made from stalks of wheat formed into a square. These were hung over the entrances of homes and stables to protect the household from fire, lightning, and any other threat to the animals and the harvest. Candles were lit in each room of the house to welcome the sun and give thanks to the awakening earth. The soil was blessed on Imbolc to bring light and life into her. Her presence at this time of late winter was very, very important to the people. She was the wife of King Brez, and they did have a son. Now, she and her mortal husband came from warring tribes. So, a major battle happened between the two families. And unfortunately, her son was killed. Now, her grief was so enormous, her lamentations were so loud and heart-rending that both sides in the battle dropped their weapons and they stopped fighting. And they left the battle and they forged a truce. The love and respect for Brid brought peace to the Celts. 19 holy women tended an eternal flame at her shrine for peace. Her flame can burn away that which no longer serves you. And can provide you with inspiration, fertility, and creativity. Remember, she has a shining mirror that sees into the other world. Now, when Christianity first came to Ireland, worship of the pagan goddess was transformed to that of Saint Bridget. This extraordinary fusion of goddess and saint demonstrates how important she was to the people. So, it was said that she was born at sunrise with an imbus, which was a tower of flame bursting from her head and reaching all the way to heaven. Born in 450 AD on February 1st, her noble father sold her and her mother, who was a Portuguese slave, to a Druid. The Druid educated them both. Then, Bridget was baptized by St. Patrick, who inspired her to spread the word of Christianity. Then she returned to her father, but he became very, very frustrated with her because she kept giving away all of his belongings to the poor, including his trusty, much beloved sword. But she couldn't help herself. She had a calling. So, he arranged for her to be married to the King of Ulster. But the King of Ulster was so impressed with her devout religious ways that he very quickly gave her total independence and her freedom. And he gave her a tract of land in Kildare, which was right on the grounds of the eternal sacred flame and the baths. And so she established the Church of the Oak. She founded and became abbess of the first monastery in Ireland, which had both monks and nuns living there. She was appointed the Bishop of Kildare, and she created an art school which produced gold leaf illuminations. Now, these illuminations were supposed to be so beautiful that they were said to be the work of angels. And so in Kildare, the center of religion and learning never lost sight of its mission to provide healing and comfort. Many, many miracles were attributed to her. And once she changed water into beer for a leper colony. She is a very interesting woman. She knew what people needed. So. And then 15 sacred wells were named after her. After her death on February 1st, at the age of 75, amazing age for that time, she became the patron saint of holy wells. She has been called the prophetess of Christ and is called Mary of the Gales. And she is also a patron saint of Ireland. Now, the eternal fire of Brid was maintained by 19 nuns well into the 16th century, continually burning the sacred flame in Kildare. They're ancient song lyrics that were inscribed there. Brid, excellent woman, sudden flame, may the fiery bright take us into the lasting kingdom. The ever-living fire was finally revived by the Brigantine Sisters in 1993. The flame was symbolically relit and tended by the sisters who are the guardians of it in Kildare. And remember, this is the flame of peace. And many, many, many people travel to this and pray over it and travel to the sacred baths there. Now, just down the road from Kildare is the town of the Solis Brede Center and Hermitage. Solis Brede means light of Bridget. And this is a conference center. And it is a beacon of hope, justice, and peace for the future. The center is an intersection between the past and the future and the legacy of Bridget in our time. Pilgrims and visitors come here to find healing and deeper meaning in their lives. Now, starting in January 31st and this week, there's a week-long series of events that are held there. It begins with, you go to the sacred flame and then to the baths. And then there's a week-long festival. There are usually things involving ways to build peace, because this is a very sincere mission of Bridget, and still is. And it's something we very, very desperately need in our times, as you said, Reverend Rosie, about Ukraine and Russia. We need to find a solution for these problems. And it's probably going to depend on us. So here we go. But it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. They have rituals and ceremonies, and they also have, they produce a play that's called Bridget, Woman of Wisdom, Woman of Inspiration and Healing. And I lost my other page, but here it comes. It won't be gone for long, that's for sure. Okay. Now, something else very exciting. You know, I've been following her, maybe about 10 years. And I find calling on her in times of difficulty, or at times when I need an answer, and at times when I need healing or guidance. It's very, very meaningful for me. But now there's something called The Way of Bridget. And it's written out as the Irish Camino de Santiago. And it is a 100-mile pilgrimage, 9 days. It begins at her birthplace in Farquhar. Then it winds to the hills of Tara and culminates in the community of Kildare with its sacred sites. And it is all about trying to be inspired and finding your path and how to follow, maybe not in her footsteps, just to follow the inspiration that she gave to so many and see what comes to you. It's a time of contemplation, just like the Camino is, and a time to really feel, to get to know who you are and what your life purpose at this moment is. So it's been highly, highly recommended. So if you ever have the opportunity, I would like to do it one of these days coming up. She's also been called the female equivalent of Archangel Michael, protecting all who call on her. So invoke her for healing, courage, artistic inspiration, and guidance. So right now I'd like to welcome in the light of Bridget's flame in this meditation. So take a deep breath in and out. Okay. And this is a fresh start. So what would you like to create or give birth to? Set your intention. Take a moment to tune in with spirit. Take a slow, deep breath in and out. And float your eyes closed if you wish. Ask for her inspiration. Ask her to light the fire within you. Visualize your sacral chakra and its bright orange flame of fertility and creation. See that? And state your intent of what you want to give birth to. What hopes and dreams do you wish to manifest? And then see these as manifest in your mind's eye. See how others react to your creation. And smile. Be proud of your taking this step. Know that you can do this anytime you wish. Taking another deep breath in and out. Now we're going into the world with this. See yourself as an instrument of loving kindness at home, with your friends and your family. Breathe in and out. Take in another breath and see yourself as an instrument of healing for a much larger area. See everybody in this beautiful church surrounded by love. Visualize a world of tolerance and peace. Take in a breath and let it go. Smile, stretch your arms, tug on your earlobes if you like. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Smile, you can stretch. And how does that feel? To be a peacemaker. How does it feel that knowing that you can have the power to impact our world, that we all do have the power within us? It seems very frustrating at times, and I know I often forget how powerful that we really, really are. But we are. So know that. So now let us look beyond our differences that separate us, and let us see the good in others. This is a time to build community through compassion, tolerance, and love. We can work together and stand together as powerful creators for transformation. Remember, we are all sacred. Let us not forget the sacred fire within us. Let the legacy of Bridget bless your new projects with inspiration and creativity, with her spark of optimism and promise. We all can be a vital wellspring of truth, peace, and justice in our world. Thank you. Now I have two visions of her that I'll just pass around that you can look at. One is a sacred icon created by the church that you can look at. And this is an image of Breed that was that was done by Hay House. And it's from an oracle card deck for Kyle Gray. And they have her called holding a flame. You can see her symbols right up here, and it says inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. So I'll bring this down for you in just a second. And thank you so very much. It's always a pleasure to be here.